Hello, welcome to the Mission Driven Business Podcast. I'm your host, Brian Thompson, an attorney, certified financial planner, and founder of a financial planning firm that serves LGBTQ entrepreneurs. I created this podcast to help mission-driven entrepreneurs build businesses that are both profitable and meaningful. On the show, you'll hear conversations from diverse entrepreneurs and experts who support small businesses in many, many ways. We'll talk about marketing, money, strategy, mindset, and what it really takes to build a business that aligns with your values and supports the life that you want. So whether you're just getting started or growing an established business, you're in the right place. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Mission Driven Business Podcast. I'm your host, Brian Thompson, and I just finished up a workshop for clinicians, LGBTQ clinicians, called Money, Energy, and Ethics. And as I was preparing, going through the presentation, I realized something. The questions I hear from therapists are the same questions I get from coaches, consultants, attorney, creatives, and other entrepreneurs across many industries. Questions like, am I charging enough? Should I quit my job? How do I know if I'm making the right business decision? And why does running my business feel harder than it should? Most people think that these are money questions. That's why they come to me. But I don't think that they are. I think they're alignment questions. So today I want to share the framework with you that I've been using with clients for years and that I just went through with the clinicians on making decisions about what to charge, when to hire, and simply just how to build a business that they love. And again, I feel like most entrepreneurs come to me with tactics in mind. Should I be an LLC? Should I be an S Corp? Should I hire somebody? Should I accept insurance? Should I be raising my prices? Those aren't bad questions. I just think that they're the wrong place to start. So instead, I encourage clients to think about building their business like walking up a staircase. You start with mission, then go to your vision, then your values, strategies, and then tactics. If you skip the foundation, you're going to make it harder on yourself. And if you build the right foundation, decisions will become easier. So let's start at the beginning. The mission answers one simple question. Why does your work deserve to exist? Not what you do, not your job title, not your services, but why does your work matter? I often ask these three questions to clients. What changes do you want to create? Who are you called to serve? And why does that matter to you? When you're clear on those answers, decisions start getting easier because you have something bigger than money guiding your choices. Next, we'll talk about vision. This is probably one of my favorite conversations to have with clients. Because I get to tell them, you get to build whatever you want. Seriously, you get to build whatever you want. And people don't believe me in the beginning, but as we start to build, they realize that there's no right way to build a successful business. Your dream may be 15 clients instead of 30, or it may be Fridays off, or it may be a group practice, or it may be the biggest practice and business that you can build in your life. All those are valid. The important thing is deciding what you want before the world decides for you or your business decides for you. Your business exists to support your life, and your life does not exist to support your business. And I think we forget that sometimes. Once you're clear on your mission, your vision, and your values become your filter. They don't make decisions for you. They help you evaluate your decisions. And whenever I'm wrestling with a decision, I try to ask myself, does this support what matters to me most? If I'm giving a webinar, is this aligned with who I want to be and what my business is here to do? You can see my values clearly on my website: leading by example, choosing courage, listening deeply and speaking with care, and appreciating all that we have. They aren't words just hanging on a wall. They're supposed to show up in how I serve my clients, how I communicate, how I price my work, and even the structure of my calendar. And so the question I often leave with clients is someone is looking at your calendar or your pricing or your boundaries or your marketing, would they recognize your values? And if they wouldn't, something has to change. There's an alignment issue. Now, once we have the foundation, we can finally talk strategy. For me, every strategy comes back to sustaining three things: your money, your energy, and your ethics. So let's start with money. Money isn't just about making more. Money is a tool. And you want to build a business that is financially stable, of course. One big mindset shift I try to remind clients is that they aren't paying for your time. They're paying for the transformation that you help create. They're paying for confidence or relief or hope or healing. In the end, you are providing value to them. And you've heard me say this before. Profit protects this mission and the value that you bring. Profit isn't just a reward for meaningful work. It's what allows you to keep doing meaningful work that provides the value that you are put on this earth to provide. A second strategy is around protecting your energy. Just like money, your energy account can be overdrawn too. We've all had weeks on our calendar that looked full, that felt completely empty. And to me, that's a matter of boundaries. Rest matters, saying no matters. And one of the biggest changes that I made in my own business was intentionally creating a space to recharge. You've heard me talk about my Brian week. To me, rest is a part of work. It's not separate from it. Finally, there's ethics. People often ask me whether there's one ethical answer. Should I accept insurance, or should I only work with private pay clients? Should I offer a sliding scale? Should I take on pro bono work? And there's no right answer. There's no right ethical or intentional answer. The better question is, does this decision reflect my mission, my vision, and my values? When it does, you can make difficult decisions with much more confidence. So if there's one thing that I hope you take away from today's episode, it's this. Most business problems aren't really money problems. They're alignment problems. So before you change your pricing, before you hire, before you launch something new, just take a step back and reconnect with your mission, clarify your vision, and revisit your values. Then let those guide your strategy. And then from there, your taxes become much easier. So I have one final question for you. What one decision could you make this month that would better protect your money, your energy, and your values? Because you can really build whatever you want. So build something that will still be exciting 10 years from now or 20 years from now. Thanks for listening to the Mission Driven Business Podcast. If this episode resonated with you, I'd love for you to share it with another entrepreneur who might need to hear it. Until next time, keep building a business that is aligned with the life that you want to live and having the impact that you want to have. Thank you for listening to the Mission Driven Business Podcast. I'm your host, Brian Thompson. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure to subscribe on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcast. And if you know another entrepreneur who could benefit from this conversation, please share it with them. Until next time, keep building a business that creates both profit and purpose.